Let's talk just for a second about a concept called white balance. Now, if you're shooting in camera raw, skip this video, it doesn't apply. The data, the raw data from the sensor doesn't change as you change the setting. The setting only applies to JPEG images, right? So if you're shooting camera raw and editing through whatever platform you're editing, you can skip right over this. But if you're shooting JPEGs and you want to have the JPEG's color come out looking right, well, this is a little bit important. So what we need to do is set the white balance. And the easiest way to do that is just hit the OK button. And over there on the right-hand side, if you scroll up to the third one from the top, that's the white balance icon. And then across the bottom, you'll see that there are all kinds of options. I'm going to head all the way to the far side here so we can step through them. So automatic means the camera will do its best to automatically set colors. I don't like automatics. They drift over time and you'll end up with subtle differences that shouldn't be there. Depends on how picky you are. This next one is daylight. So if you're outside in bright daylight, that's the one to worry about. Sorry, the menu keeps closing on me. I've only got a couple of seconds. Shadow. So if you're outside, but in the shadows, if it's cloudy and overcast day, this is if you're under old school incandescent lighting, if you're under fluorescent lighting, if you're taking pictures with the flash, and then there's a series of custom white balances here at the end, actually 4 of them. And then this is a dial-in setting as well. So you actually have 5 custom presets here at the end that you can take the time to set. What I like to do when I'm shooting, because I shoot in camera raw, I don't need to do this. But I will step through these presets until I find one that looks about right. Just so that as I'm looking at the viewfinder, it's not driving me crazy, right? Because if I put this down to incandescent, for example, look at how blue that looks on my monitor, on my camera. It's not going to look that way if I'm taking raw photos, but if I'm taking JPEGs, it is going to look that way. And whether or not the picture is going to look that way, it looks that way right now as I'm looking at it, and it bothers me. All right, so just hit the OK, and then I'll step through these and find one that looks close. Yeah, that cloudy one isn't too bad. Sunshiny. I'm just going to stick with sunshiny. It seems to be close-ish to what I'm using here at the moment. And that's it. If you want to set a custom, I'm not going to go into that. You can look in the manual and see what the actual steps are. But there are 4 different customs that you can store, plus a 5th that you can dial in. If you understand what color temperature is, you can actually dial in a specific number for that. All right. Next, I'm going to talk about some of the other modes that the camera can do that are actually quite useful.